Hello and welcome. Assalamu alaikum. You're watching Greenwich Live Sessions. This is your host Umar Khan, and I'm back with another session. And since it's Friday, it's a literature day. और आज जो हम review करने वाले हैं, that is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. And उसके लिए आज हाउसफुल है और हाउसफुल में मेरे साथ मौजूद हैं मेरी co-host Sundus Anwar, who is a linguistic student and बड़ी ज़बरदस्त host हैं, बड़े इन्होंने प्रोग्राम होस्ट किए हैं और आज भी इस शो के अंदर ये लीड करेंगी. एंड नाउ सुंदस, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल पहले तो आपसे पूछूं क्या हाल है आपके?
Assalamu alaikum. I'm good. How are you? How's everyone at your place?
वालेकुम सलाम. घर पे सब सही हैं? They're all good. Last time that I checked, they were all fine. And अब I would like to ask you if you can introduce our guest for today.
Definitely, I will. Number one guest we have is Soumya Kyani. Soumya Kyani is doing her master's in English literature from Greenwich University. She is also a teacher at the Cornerstone School, and she has been teaching since the past 5 years. The next we have Saman Shah. Saman Shah is also doing her master's in English literature from Greenwich University, and she's a homemaker right now. She loves to write. She is an excellent poetess, one of the finest we have in our class. How are you, Saman? I hope everything's good at your place.
Yes, Sundus, I'm fine. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Omar.
The third one we have is Larib Nasser. Larib is also doing her master's in English literature from Greenwich University. She's also a teacher at Cornerstone, and she has a great impact on literature. They have been doing literature sessions for very long with Sir Salman, and a very fine, I would say, debater in class as well. Hi, Larib, how are you?
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for such an amazing introduction. Alhamdulillah, good. How are you, Sundas?
I'm good. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. As we all know, Sylvia Plath, she's a very big name, Omar, or especially somebody very close to my heart as a writer, because she was a person who was a little troubled. Always she's a troubled poet, as everyone says, a troubled writer. Why? Because she was not somebody from the same generation that she was born in. She had different views, different perspectives, and somebody who wanted to have an out of the box picture, want to be perfect, who wanted to complete the frame of a perfect woman. But somehow, not everybody has a strong, what should I say, self esteem or self reliance on themselves that they can complete the whole journey. She did commit suicide at a very young age. She had two children, and she has committed suicide 3 to 4 times in her lifetime. Her whole idea about living was kind of demoralized when we talk about her. Okay, the reason why मैं थोड़ा सा introduction Sylvia Plath का दूंगी, because this is kind of a tribute that I'm giving her, this 2 minute tribute, because I believe women in that time, they were fighting on a different level. Alhamdulillah, today we are not deprived of so many rights. We get a good education, we get a good surrounding with us, we get supportive parents. It's not always like this. She was not somebody who had a very good childhood. Her childhood was rocked by a troubled father figure, and it's shown in her poems as well. Her poems are so beautiful. Uh, One of her greatest poems is Lady Lazarus, Tulips, and Daddy. The most famous poem of hers is Daddy. If you talk about it, you will see how she has resembled a figure which is a protective figure in anyone's life, a figure that you look up to every single biggest incident. She has made a whole geographical map of how her life shifted just because that figures what should I say, disorientation in her life. Taking Sylvia Plath's writing forward, I would say that her only novel is The Bell Jar, and it was published after 10 years of her whole writing it up. Her poems were also published by Ted Hughes. Ted Hughes was her husband, whom which she got separated from. मैं थोड़ा सा बहुत ज़्यादा इसलिए again I'm saying बोल रही हूँ because I'm a huge fan. I'm the most biggest fan. When I was taking this forward, I made sure that all the people read the novel, all the people knew what to talk about because it's something very close to my heart. Taking the point forward, Umar, I would really like you to first express to me, because you have been in this industry for so long and you have met so many people. You must have also seen that a person who's troubled, they're not usually troubled because just a few incidents. It starts from a very young age. It starts from, halke 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 hote hote na, it's like it all mixes up in them. How much do you believe that, especially when it comes to somebody who's coming in public or who's writing, it leaves an impact? जैसे सिल्विया ने अपना impact छोड़ा हम सब पे, अभी भी हम लोग पढ़ते हैं, there's a depression cloud that comes up in your mind when you read her, even though you're not even facing that, but you somehow become a part of it. So how much do you think that, especially a person who writes, they should
First of
have?
all, I'd like to congratulate you and thank you and all of your literature students के one by one आप इतने ज़बरदस्त books लेके आते हैं जिसको हम आज भी real life से connect कर सकते हैं और उससे lessons ले सकते हैं. Secondly, जो आपने बात की कि उसको आज भी हम read करते हैं, we feel like we're at their place. The sad part is कि उनकी जिंदगी के बाद उनको ये अटेंशन और ये प्यार और ये रिकग्निशन मिल रहा है. अगर यही रिकग्निशन जिंदगी में मिलता तो वो सुसाइड की तरफ नहीं जाते. दे उनको वांटेड फील होता, उनको लव फील होता, उनको फील होता कि पीपल केयर फॉर अस. एंड वी हैव सीन सो मेनी सुसाइडल्स कि उनके जाने के बाद लोग उनसे प्यार का इजहार करते हैं. एक और आपके पास रीसेंट एग्जांपल है इंडियन एक्टर सुशांत की कि अब एवरीवन इज डाइंग फॉर हिम, बट व्हेन ही वाज अलाइव एवरीवन वाज क्रिटिसाइजिंग हिम. सेकेंडली, जो एक चीज है, आपने उर्दू की बड़ी एक मशहूर कहावत सुनी होगी, चिराग तले अंधेरा. जहां आपने ये देखा है कि सिल्विया की सारी राइटिंग्स में पॉजिटिविटी है, स्ट्रेंथ है, वहीं पे उसकी जिंदगी में कितनी एम्प्टीनेस, कितनी डार्कनेस है, वो उसके जाने के बाद लोगों को फील हुआ. Everyone had this image कि she is very strong, she people used to look up to her, और ये उसकी सारी publications उसके जाने के बाद आई. So now you can feel the pain. Similarly, I'd link this to another suicidal, Chester Bennington, the lead vocalist of Linkin Park. उसके जितने गाने थे, जितने लिरिक्स थे, हम सब उस पे हेड बैंगिंग करते थे, लेकिन उन रॉक गानों के लिरिक्स पे किसी ने फोकस नहीं किया. He was screaming and pleading for help. चेस्टर अपने जिंदगी की जो आपने बात की कि आप अपने बचपन के इंसिडेंट्स की वजह से आपकी पर्सनालिटी में एक डैमेज आ जाता है, एंड यू कांट जस्ट गेट ओवर इट फॉर लाइफ, चाहे आप जितने रिच, जितने फेमस, जितने सक्सेसफुल हो जाएं. तो ये एक फैक्ट है. नाउ ड्यूरिंग दिस सेशन आप लोग जहां इस बुक के बारे में बात करेंगे, आई ट्राई टू टॉक अबाउट कि ये जो डिप्रेशन का मर्ज हमारी पूरी ग्लोबली लोगों को खाता जा रहा है, जस्ट लाइक टर्माइट्स, दीमक की तरह जवान लोगों को ये डिप्रेशन खत्म करता जा रहा है. सो माय ट्राई वुड बी टू किल दैट थिंग एंड हाउ टू हेल्प पीपल आउट ऑफ दिस डिप्रेशन थिंग. और ये डिप्रेशन है क्या, मैं इस पे भी बात करूंगा, बट फर्स्ट आई लाइक यू to take comments from all our guests today and talk about the book, and later on I'll be talking about this whole situation जो सिल्विया की थी, जो आजकल आपकी है, मेरी है, और जितने हमारे व्यूअर्स हैं, सब कहीं ना कहीं उनके अंदर एक सिल्विया मौजूद है. तो उस सिल्विया को ठीक कैसे करना है, ये मैं सेशन में जरूर बताऊंगा. बट नाउ यू कैन मूव टुवर्ड्स आवर गेस्ट एंड टॉक अबाउट द बुक.
So as I was saying, that The Bell Jar is actually the only book that Sylvia Plath wrote, and our teacher Sir Salman also had a very very fond expression for Sylvia as well. And I really hope that Sir Salman is watching us. Taking this forward, I would like to talk about feminism, because feminism is something that is always taken as somebody who hates men, or somebody who believes that men should not be there in this world. When we look at Sylvia, we see two parts. One is feminism and one is man hatred. It's not like मैं बोलूं कि मैंने नहीं देखा, मैंने देखा है. So taking this point forward, Larry, when you were reading this book, I would really like you to talk about it. कि what were the parts that you realized about it?
Yeah, so this, as you said that talking about feminism and anti-feminism, I would like to share my experience of this book. When I went through, I realized, when we get to know that the page, the thing we are reading from literature, it's written by women, we create this perspective of our own that it must be a feminism work. And the best part about this book, what I found the most interesting and incredible, is that I found both perspective in one book, um, like parallel. They both are the feminism and anti-feminism going parallel somehow in chunks. in this book specifically. I won't talk about the other literature work that she wrote, like the poems. Otherwise, I would be carried away from the topic because I won't label Sylvia Plath either a feminist or anti-feminist. Because somehow I believe she was the extremist, but I won't go on that path because today we are supposed to talk about this book specifically. So, before like explaining this whole part of feminism in the book, I would love to appreciate her writing. You know, the cause and pros of feminism, the way she expressed in the novel, I think no one could ever explain it in the way she did. The way she expresses the idea of equality. And as you mentioned before, yes, in our society, what we believe, the person who call her or himself feminist, which means the hated of men. Basically, it's not about that. And she continuously on debate on it. The way she expresses the rights of women, she doesn't want something more, superiority. She never talk about the superiority. She never talk about the less of the man. What she wants a woman to be in the society to stand together with the man somehow. Whether it's about chastity, virginity, it's about social work, house job. She just wanted to stand together with a person, in particular manner. And the way she expresses, if you would allow me, there is this amazing part in the book I read and I would like to share with you, Sandus, if you would allow me to read that part.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah,
A little.
there is this, yeah, yeah. So in Reader's Digest, there is this article in the book where she mentions um, a man's world is different from woman's world, and a man's emotions are different from women's emotions. Only marriage can bring these two emotions and two different worlds together perfectly. So, I believe that this is the best part where she separates the idea of hatred man and the equality. Here she's talking about the equality in every best manner. She's not against that marriage thing. She's not against man. She is in this thing, but this is, I believe, the society who don't let those feminists to do such things. What we did, we labeled this feminism thing with extremism, and I believe that somehow woman has a role in it. We pulled it, we drag
Yes.
it, we literally exaggerate this feminism thing, so we are getting away with the idea of actual feminism approach. So I believe that
Mm-hmm.
extremism, the road of extremism leads you nowhere but dead end, which never happened, which didn't happen in the novel, but had actually happened in Sylvia Plath's life. When I said that I called her extremist, so she had that ending in her real life. So I believe that we need to show some flexibility in real life because we are the one who are living in the society. Society never gonna change because it's same, it's been decades, it's the same, and it will remain. I believe it's us who needs to show a little flexibility. I believe we need to keep this feminism approach remain as it is. We need to keep it low. We are exaggerating as much that it's losing its real essence a lot
That's
even
so true,
nowadays. So
Lalit. I would
yeah.
definitely say that, once something is given to humans, there's always exploitation that comes with it. And 100% agree to your fact that, yes, women are actually playing a huge part in destroying feminism as well. I don't mind, even if some women quotes this about me, because I have seen it myself. I have seen it in my workplace as well, that there is a difference that we have approaches towards feminism. Taking your point forward, I would ask Somia. So, society has a very big role when we're talking about feminism, when we're talking about Sylvia, when we're talking about writings or authors, anything. I think the environment that you live in somehow it reflects on you. So, how much do you agree to that? This,
Okay, I would totally would like to agree to Larry what Larry said. Sylvia Plath in Belgium especially, she explored those social norms which were there, those gender roles. She questioned those gender role at that time of society, even today, by giving the example of the women fig tree. She said fig tree is like the proper example for that. She said on the fig tree there are different branches. One branch is for home, one branch is for good wife, one branch is a poet, and one branch is a lover. She said she questioned the society that a woman can't be all of them. Because a man can be a husband, he can work, and then he can also enjoy his social life. But women are only restricted to one part. If she's a mother, she is not expected to be something else. If she is going to do something else, she will be society is going to label her as not a good mother because she's not going to take care of her child because she's pursuing other things. So Sylvia Plath, by giving I think the example of fig tree, she not wanted only one part in the society. She, for women, she wanted them to have all the things, all the other things which men can in society, she can as well. She actually in 1950, when she wrote this during the time of 1950, when she wrote this piece of literature, Beljar, that was the time when the society of American society was very conservative nation. They were very conservative nation when it comes to women at that time. So she with the other young, but it's also the period of when the feminism rised. So she was the one with other people who talked about like to go against the traditional norms, to go against the designated gender roles which are designed by the society for men and women. She said no, we are not only if we are at home, I am a wife, I am a mother, I can be something else, I can be a poet, I can work outside, and I can still be a good mother, I can still be a good wife. So this was Sylvia Plath's point, and I totally agree to the point of Larev that feminism, I think, is explained remarkably well in Beljar, other than any other novel I have ever read. Sylvia Plath very beautifully questioned norms, and she went against them, and she fought for her own place in the society. This is what I want to say about feminism in Sylvia Plath, and I think Sylvia Plath is the biggest feminist.
Taking your point forward and taking someone in, someone putting feminism and everything at aside, how much do you believe that a person who has been troubled from different criteria, as we all have read about her, have studied about her, she committed suicide 3 times. It's not that the one time only she had a little problem. To there are steps that have evolved and made her what she was at the age of 30, taking your life. It's very young, it's very ripe. And then again, talking about rights,
So
talking
true.
about equality, then and the next time we're just fed up of it. You just want to take us off. How much do you agree that yes, feminism is there, but then again, kind of uh, the individuality, the true essence of herself was lost? Someone, you are mute. You are mute.
Hello.
Yes, someone, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Now, if I take Sylvia Plath, she is the most misunderstood figure in the genre of world literature. Some people, if we read the Tulips, Lady Lazarus, Daddy, we think that she is she's a feminist, she's against her daddy or whatever. And then we read the Lady Lazarus and Tulip, we believe that she's very much fascinated by the idea of suicide. So, and it is ये है कि she was clinically depressed person. She was a clinically depressed person. So if we talk about the especially Beljar novel, this is the only novel by Sylvia Plath. So we see that the she has given us a lens to see the world through the depressed person. How a person of uh, thinks of the society, if he's a man or whether a woman. So Sylvia Plath के इस novel ने हमें एक lens दिया है कि to get inside into the mind of a depressed person. Okay. So now when I see this, the whole, if I talk about the title itself, because through this title, explaining this title, I can give you a true idea that how exactly she feels. The bell jar. For me, the bell jar, it's a from inside Sylvia was a free soul, and from her mind she was trapped between. Her mind was saying something different from her soul, and the bell jar itself. She there's a line in the novel. She said that I'm stewing in my own sour air. I'm trapped in my own. So she was trapped by her own thoughts as well, trapped by the society. So she was the bell jar was the society, and from inside she was a free soul. She wanted to enjoy each and everything which common, healthy, mentally healthy person enjoy in the world. She wants to do that because we see that she try every possible way to regenerate her decaying soul. She tries every possible. She tried to be cool, just like her other friends. We saw that because it's a semi autobiographical novel. So the Esther, the character in the Beljar. So we see that she tries every possible way. She made a boyfriend as well, and she tried to enjoy each and everything. But in the end, she sees that I'm not that. I'm not like that. So ये जो सवाल था ना सिल्विया का कि वो सोसाइटी में एडजस्ट करने की कोशिश करती रही, इन द एंड तक वो करती रही, बट उसे उस कहीं पे भी शी वाज नॉट गेटिंग सेटिस्फैक्शन, बिकॉज इट इज आल्सो अ डिप्रेसिव, एक बंदे की साइकी होती है कि दैट अ पर्सन इज कॉन्स्टेंटली इन अ लो मूड में होता है. तो शी वाज नॉट accepting the society and she was not accepted by the society.
Definitely, this conversation actually makes me very, what should I say, chilled up when I talk about Sylvia Plath, because being at a young age and being a mother of two, and yet having the guts and I would say the courage to take your own life when they're sleeping in the other room, it takes a lot of in you, I would say. Or Beljar itself, agar hum usi jis tarah, there's this boy in literature, Abdullah, and he talks always about the covers, and somehow I took his point forward this time, and I wanted to talk about the cover. Okay, the bell jar, agar hum us cover ko dekhein, basically it's a jar. Whatever is inside the jar, that is what she had in her mind. Her mind was a bell jar. It was all inside. Her body was a bell jar. It was all inside. She wanted to get out. She wanted to take it off. Even after, if at the end of the novel we see, she says that the bell jar is lifted, but then again, I'm always scared when it's going to come back on. So, and some of her poems, she said that, life is like a rare organ that I have sewed up to myself. Or even in this part, she has said the bell jar is dark, the person living inside is not me. So somehow we have seen that her struggles, her ideas of living were very different, and the people who somehow she encountered even kind of cheated on her or made her believe in the disbelief she had in people. She even says in some of her writings that having no expectations with everyone leads you to a better life. I'm sorry I'm misquoting her quotes, but then again, the whole idea of hers was that how much detached or how much outside she wanted to live without humans or human contact, or she would be like, I want to be somewhere where nobody knows me, uh, or to be in some place where nobody has an idea where I stand. So Umar, the idea of bringing the bell jar forward today is one thing that there are a lot of women in our society who have lost hope because of the recent incidents which have taken place in our society. Right now, Greenwich University is also talking about sexual and mental abuse that has been happened to anybody around. We have a whole program that is going to be about how misconduct is happening to women at their workplace, and Ms. Nadia is taking it forward. I really appreciate her approach because I believe that it's us who need to understand that if we don't help the women around us, then it's going to be a very, very sad world.
Right.
Bringing the bell jar forward is somehow important for all the women out there who feel like they're at a loss, who feel like life hasn't been treating them really well, or there's nobody to listen to them. It's okay. There are so many times that life does treat you that way, and it's completely fine. Life is all about, throws lemons at you. It's how about you make lemonade from it. But then
Right.
again, it's not about leaving yourself.
Hmm.
Suicide is never the answer to anything.
So
Our idea of bringing the bell jar was to entice everyone to read it and to understand that yes, you can relate to it and how to come out of it.
Right.
It's not about कि पढ़ के और depressed हो जाओ. It's about पढ़ के उससे सबक लेके आगे बढ़ो.
इंस्पिरेशन लेना, मैं वन बाय वन 3-4 पॉइंट्स हैं क्योंकि सबने बहुत अच्छी बातें की. आई विल ट्राई टू आंसर एंड गिव माय पॉइंट ऑन एवरी ईच वन ऑफ इट. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मैं कहूंगा कि उसने 3 दफा सुसाइड कमिट नहीं की, 3 दफा अटेम्प्ट की. सुसाइड एक ही दफा कमिट की जिसमें वो दुनिया से चली गई. सो दैट वाज 3 अटेम्प्ट्स, नॉट 3 सुसाइड, राइट? शी इज नॉट अ कैट, शी डजंट हैव 9 लाइव्स. सो फर्स्ट थिंग दैट. सेकेंडली, यू स्पोक अबाउट फेमिनिज्म. इसमें एक चीज बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है. I'm not representing all men, and all men out there aren't representing me. Similarly, you three are not representing all women, and all women aren't representing you. It's about every individual is different, right? हमारा सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हम एक इंडिविजुअल की बेस पे पूरी रेस को, पूरे जेंडर को, पूरी कॉम को, पूरी कंट्री को, पूरे रिलीजन, पूरे हर चीज को लेबल कर देते हैं. दिस इज समथिंग दैट वी शुड स्टॉप एंड अवॉइड. Now, if you ask me कि मेरा point feminism पे क्या है, तो I am born out of a woman, right? और जो एक respect औरत की है, वो चाहे वो औरत मेरी माँ है, मेरी बहन है या एक stranger है. I said this before whenever feminism comes up. अगर कोई एक unknown female मेरी presence में unsafe feel करती है, तो that is the question on my manhood. कि एक female मेरी presence में कैसे unsafe feel कर सकती है. सही है. तो आई थिंक जो कुछ इस वक्त सोसाइटी में हो रहा है, आई स्ट्रांगली कंडेम दैट. एट द सेम टाइम देयर इज समथिंग दैट आई नीड टू टेल एवरीवन एल्स के जहां खवातीन के साथ ज्यादती होती है, देयर इज आल्सो वन जेंडर, द ट्रांसजेंडर. वहां सबसे ज्यादा उनके साथ ज्यादती होती है, एंड दे मिसट्रीटेड. We should talk about that as well. Recently, there was this case that a man was kidnapped by 3 women and brutally assaulted and raped. वो केस सामने ही नहीं आया. Why? Because वही शेम वाली बात आ जाती है. People don't like to talk about that. So it always हर जगह पे ये प्रॉब्लम्स आ रहे हैं. But then again, जो रेशियो है फीमेल के साथ वो बहुत ज्यादा है. So we should strongly condemn that. Now, आपने बात की डिप्रेशन की और सुसाइड की. So suicide is never an option. Now, first of all, let's start off. Depression है क्या? Depression is a pressure, that keeps on building up, and you're not venting it out. And when you try to reach out people, you don't get the result that you're desiring and you're expecting. और उसकी वजह से आपका प्रेशर और बिल्डअप होता है. राइट नाउ आपकी एक्सपेक्टेशन कुछ होती हैं और वो चीज जब मैच नहीं होती रियलिटी में, दैट्स व्हेन यू स्टार्ट गोइंग मोर क्रेजी. नाउ सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है कि यू हैव सम एम्पैथी. आप अंडरस्टैंड करें कि अगर एक इंसान रिएक्ट कर रहा है या वो गुस्सा कर रहा है या बहुत इरिटेट हो रहा है या चिड़चिड़ा हो रहा है, तो उसके पीछे वजह क्या है. यू स्टार्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग देम रादर देन मेकिंग देम मोर आइसोलेटेड. नाउ इफ आई ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड ट्राई टू गेट इनटू सिल्वियाज शूज, सिल्विया ने अपनी ये जो पहली उसकी पब्लिश थी, दैट वाज इन जनवरी 1963, 14 जनवरी टू बी प्रिसाइज. उसने अपने नाम से नहीं की थी. इट वाज अ pseudonym Victoria Lucas, and right after a month, Sylvia committed suicide on 11th February 1963. 4 years later, उसके नाम से उसकी बुक पब्लिश हुई. उसकी जिंदगी में उसकी बुक उसके नाम से पब्लिश भी नहीं हुई. राइट, सो शी वांटेड टू वेंट आउट, लेकिन एट द सेम टाइम शी वाज अ बिट शेकी. शी वाज नॉट वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट कि मैं अपनी स्टोरी किसी के साथ शेयर करूं नहीं करूं. शी वाज एन अमेजिंग राइटर, बहुत अच्छा एक्सप्रेस करती थी, लेकिन वो एक्सप्रेस टाइमली नहीं कर सकी और उसको उसकी सोसाइटी एनवायरनमेंट से रिस्पॉन्स नहीं मिल सका. सो नाउ वी टेक एन एग्जांपल ऑफ दैट. और आज जितने हमारे डिप्रेशन के पेशेंट हैं या जो लोग डिप्रेशन से स्ट्रगल करते हैं, सबसे पहले तो एक्सेप्ट करें कि डिप्रेशन इज वेरी सीरियस एंड वी हैव टू स्टार्ट टेकिंग इट सीरियसली. ना कि उसका मजाक उड़ाया जाए कि देवदास बन गया है या पारो बन गई है या ये हो गया या वो हो गया. कोई भी डिप्रेशन पेशेंट आपके पास आए, चाहे वो लड़का हो चाहे वो लड़की हो, उसको सीरियसली लें. और आगे से जो डोंट्स हैं, जो स्ट्रिक्टली रेड जोन के डोंट्स हैं, उसमें सबसे पहले बात ये आती है कि आप उसको अपने आप से रिलेट ना करें कि यार तुम्हारे साथ ये हुआ, मैं बताता हूँ मेरे साथ क्या हुआ. दिस इज एन एक्सट्रीम डोंट. Let the person open up, let them share, let them talk it out, let them feel that they're heard. Number one. Secondly, ये ना बोलें कि जी अल्लाह बेहतर करेगा या ये हो जाएगा या वो हो जाएगा, मूड चेंज करो, ये चेंज करो. Let them talk, let them speak and tell them it is okay. It is okay if you failed. It's okay if you're not having a successful relationship. It's okay that you're not making good money. It's okay that you're left behind as compared to your colleagues. Everything has a time. देखें, सुसाइड और डिप्रेशन की तरफ इंसान सिर्फ तब आता है जब वो गिव अप कर देता है. गिव अप इज अ स्टेट ऑफ माइंड जो आपको सोसाइटी, एंड आई एम सॉरी आई एम टेकिंग अ बिट लॉन्ग, बट दिस इज अ बिट a very serious thing and we need to speak up on this.
Definitely, Umar, we need to speak up on this. I'm sorry मैं आपको cut out कर रही हूँ, but we need to speak up on this and we need to understand कि अगर कोई writer, अगर किसी ने अपनी writing में ये बताया है या उन्होंने अपनी suicide commit करी, तो it's not cool. It's something that you should take a lesson from कि भाई उनके साथ मसला हुआ, हम इससे सबक लें, ना कि हम इस बात को अच्छा समझें.
सुंदर, मैं यहाँ यही चीज ऐड करूंगा, the thing I repeated previously as well, कि उसकी ये स्टेट उसके जाने के बाद लोगों को पता चल रही है. कितने डिप्रेशन के पेशेंट्स हैं जो सुसाइड करते हैं, उनके जाने के बाद लोग अफसोस करते हैं. आज आप लोग 5 लोग मेरे सामने हैं, इसके अलावा जितने लोग व्यूअर्स में, कितनी दफा जब कोई इमोशनल स्टेटस या इनडायरेक्टली अपनी माइंड स्टेट शेयर कर रहा होता है अपने व्हाट्सएप स्टेटस पे या फेसबुक पे, कितने लोग हैं जो कॉल करके चेकअप करते हैं दैट आर यू ओके, इज एवरीथिंग फाइन विद यू, डू यू नीड एनीथिंग. कुछ नहीं चाहिए होता डिप्रेशन पेशेंट को, एक ईयर चाहिए होता है जो वो सिर्फ उसकी सुन ले. सो एवरीवन हु इज लिसनिंग अस टुडे, reach out to people, just check them up randomly, are you doing okay, उनको उनके साथ टाइम स्पेंड करें, उनको बाहर लेके जाएं और उनकी चीजों में let them take it out, let them vent out. सिल्विया के साथ भी यही हुआ. ड्यूरिंग हर लाइफ वो ढूंढती रही कि मैं किससे शेयर करूं, लेकिन वो शेयर नहीं कर सकी. नाउ 60 years later we're talking on it, but at that time there was no one there. So what is the use once the person has left? तो लोगों की कदर, लोगों को समझें ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम. डिप्रेशन पेशेंट के कुछ मैं सिम्टम्स बताऊं, वो अपने आप को आइसोलेट कर देते हैं, वो बहुत जल्दी चिड़चिड़े हो जाते हैं, छोटी छोटी बात पे गुस्सा करने लगते हैं, वो बहुत ज्यादा नर्वस हो जाते हैं, बहुत ज्यादा सेल्फ कॉन्शियस हो जाते हैं. तो इफ यू एवर सी any of your friend who's lacking confidence, या वो सही से बोल नहीं पा रहा है, वो लोगों से मिल नहीं रहा है, बाहर नहीं आ रहा है, let it be a guy, let it be a girl, reach out for them, उनसे बात करें, share it. and जिन लोगों को डिप्रेशन है, it's okay to take help, it's okay to take it out, vent out करना बहुत जरूरी है. let it be, आप लिख दें कहीं, आप बोल दें कहीं, आप किसी से शेयर कर लें. जरूरी नहीं कि कोई इंसान ही हो, you yourself can be योर गाइडलाइन. मतलब अगर मैं अपनी बात फील करूं, ऑल्दो लोगों के लिए मैं बड़ा एक पॉजिटिव चीज आता हूं कि यार मैं आई एम ऑलवेज पॉजिटिव, ऑलवेज स्माइलिंग. आई हैव माय लो टाइम्स, मुझे मोड स्विंग्स आते हैं, मुझे ऐसा टाइम आते हैं जब मेरी बस हो जाती है. लेकिन देन व्हाट डू आई डू? I take step back, I spend time alone and I talk to myself. What is that I need in this very moment? इस सेकंड में मुझे क्या चाहिए? देखें, if you live in the past, you'll always be depressed. If you think about the future, you'll always be confused. आप always एक situation में रहेंगे, परेशान रहेंगे. But if you live in this very moment, you don't need anything. Right this second, even if I don't have food to eat, electricity in my house, money to pay bills, this second I don't need that. Stop thinking about the second that is in the future. Don't ruin your future because of this very moment. तो इंसान का काम है कोशिश करना, हार ना मानना. एंड जब जिंदगी है, सांस है, there's always an option. मैं एक चीज आप लोगों के साथ, सुंदर, you were in my class, I shared, and since people are watching, I'd like to share that, कि जिंदगी में हमेशा दूसरा ऑप्शन होता है. लोग जब ये कहते हैं कि जी कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है, कोई रास्ता नजर नहीं आ रहा, मैं आप लोगों से सवाल करता हूँ. सुंदर ऑलरेडी नोज दिस आंसर. समन, सोम्या, लारे, if you stand up on a 50-floor tall building and I tell you to jump, what will be the result? Saman?
Yes.
What will be the result?
I will die, and or other I will have
Somya,
result.
Somya, what will be the result?
Everyone knows.
Okay, everyone's saying you will die. What if I say that?
No.
Yeah, Lare. If you
If
jump
you
off,
allow me, Umar,
yeah, sure.
I would say the person who is about to jump Yeah, if I would try to jump, I would consider myself mentally disabled, and after the jump, I would be disabled physically too.
Okay.
I
Well,
won't die because there is no guarantee that I would die.
okay. So all of you
Miracles
are
happen, you know.
now. This is a live example for all the viewers out there. आप सब ने कहा that there is no chance कि आप बचें. You know, you all say you'll die. I say I'll jump off a 50-floor building, right? I'll jump and I will be scratchless. Why and how? I won't jump forward, I'll jump backwards. Who told you to jump in front? I just told you to jump, right? कहने का मकसद सिर्फ ये, there's always another option. Because of our stress, because of our surroundings, our environment, the people around us, we never look at that other option. तो जितने लोग जो डिप्रेशन में आपके लिए एक दुनिया इंतजार कर रही है, you just have to look at it that way. Stop looking at the closed doors. Look at the open opportunities that you have all around you. Hope is always there and magic always happens, लेकिन वो magic आपके अंदर से आता है. No one will ever help you. जिंदगी का दस्तूर है, अगर जिंदगी में आप आते अकेले हैं, आप जिंदगी से जाते अकेले हैं. You come alone, you leave alone, right? You're alone in your grave. Let it be. आप किसी भी रिलीजन से आप कुछ भी बिलीव रखते हैं, जब आपका पूरा सफर अकेला है, so why do you look up to anyone else to help you? If you can't help yourself, no one ever will. So this is something you all need to know. And now we can just talk more about Sylvia, because इस सारी चीजों से now you can connect more about Sylvia, what went wrong. But it is useless to talk about it because no one helped her in life. तो आज आप लोग सब एक दूसरे से पैक्ट करें कि फ्यूचर में कोई और सिल्विया नहीं बनेगी. You guys will be out there for every possible depression patient. You'll be you'll be there to help them out. और ये जितने हमारे व्यूअर्स हैं, you have to take this fact कि हमने अपने आप को छोड़ के लोगों को समझना है. जो सबसे बड़ा आज जिंदगी में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है, वो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ही यही है. You are right, you are wrong, I am right, I am wrong. If we just accept people as they are, who they are, and live ourselves without causing pain or trouble to anyone else, this world will be a beautiful place. But it's just the war के नहीं, मैं ठीक हूँ, मैं हूँ. So take that मैं out of it. As I say, if you want to run anything, take the I factor out of it, because if you put I between run, it becomes ruin. So stop ruining this world and keep the I factor out of it and just keep it to we. Now, I think that's enough. You guys should speak as well.
Thank you so much, Umar, and definitely, Umar, I would never say that तुमने ज़्यादा time लिया, या you gave out a very long conversation, because each thing that you said is something that is impacting. It's not something that is just said without concern, because we all see people around ourselves. We see our friends, we see our family. आज जब हम लोग इस बात पर discussion कर रहे थे, I'm so sorry I take this thing out, but I would definitely, मैं हमेशा ये बात बोलती हूँ, the parents out there, the adults out there, they need to understand that the youth we have, the people who are younger than you that you have around, you need to understand that if you will have a very dictatorial or a very strong, what should I say, concern about कि हमेशा से ऐसा होता चला है, आप भी ऐसा करोगे, या मैंने ऐसा करा तो आप भी ऐसी करोगे, कि आपके वक्त में तो मैं ऐसी नहीं थी, या आपके वक्त में तो मैं ऐसा नहीं था. तो times change, things change. It's not about something that how we can implement it on our people around. So if I take this forward, I would like to ask someone's point of view. Someone, how much do you believe that we need to understand all these consequences?
You're very right, Sundus, that we really don't understand the people around us. We really don't. As in the novel, when she gives the example of a fig tree, and when she says that in one branch I have a poet, professor, she had dreams, she had so many dreams, and there was no one that, and she compares herself with the others. ये हमारा डिप्रेशन में सबसे बड़ा, या एक personality में सबसे बड़ा flaw होता है, जब when we compare ourselves with others. In the novel, and as a personality, she has given many examples that she compared herself with a other woman, that I cannot even cook, that other women can cook perfectly. I cannot even speak German or other languages. I am not a good enough to handle my house chores and other activities which women are supposed to do. So there was not even a single person around her that who could tell her that she was a wonderful writer, she's a beautiful poet. Even her boyfriend says that the her poetry is a trash and dust. So जो हमारे words होते हैं ना सुंदर, it give us मतलब हमें एक boost भी दे सकते हैं, and then it can give us एक बिल्कुल हमें जमीन पे भी गिरा सकते हैं. The words matters a lot. Our people, our energy matters a lot. तो आई अग्री टू उमर के हमें अब और सिल्वियाज नहीं चाहिए, बट सिल्विया का ये बहुत बड़ा एहसान है कि दैट शी हैज इवन इसी बेल्जियम की वजह से वी आर एबल टू लोगों को करने के लिए नो मोर डिप्रेशन एंड नो मोर अदर थिंग्स लाइक दैट. वी नीड टू accept the individuality of every person is different. You are not, तुम हर चीज नहीं कर सकते, इट्स ओके. यहाँ कोई बताने वाला नहीं होता. यहाँ कहते हैं इफ यू आर अ मदर तो यू हैव टू बी अ परफेक्ट मदर. बच्चे को टाइम पे सुलाओ, ये करो वो करो. इफ यू आर अ हाउस वाइफ तो बी अ कम्प्लीटली हाउस वाइफ. यू कैन नॉट बी अ स्टूडेंट और यू कैन नॉट बी अ, आपको एक ऐसी आंख नजर आ जाती है, यू कैन फील दैट थिंग दैट आप बहुत ऐसा फील करते हो कि दैट यू कैन नॉट डू एनीथिंग. आप फिर डिप्रेशन में चले जाते हो. अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह नाउ वी हैव मेनी गुड फैमिलीज, और जिस तरह मैं हूँ और लोग हैं जो बाहर आ रहे हैं, दे आर मल्टीटास्किंग एंड दे आर डूइंग थिंग्स. बट it happens today as well that people are struggling to accept our individuality.
That's so true. That's so true. Talking about Bell Jar, talking about the whole idea of this novel was us all to bring forward that individuality matters. Sylvia was a great student. She won so many awards. She was one of the people who was nominated. Mademoiselle magazine mein unka, what should I say, writing was published. She had a huge, successful time when she was as a student. She was excelling. Although she had financial problems, her father was a German. He was very dictatorial, but then again, she kind of lifted herself from all that. Then again, she got shifted. We need to understand sometimes a person who is, having it all, or we look at them and we're like, wow, you're succeeding so much, but then again, they somehow lose themselves in between. Uh, there's a common thing that's said that sometimes you just say, Umar ne bola, we just need an ear to hear. So in Beljar, it's shown so properly that the city of New York is something that we say that it never sleeps, but then again it bores me. She writes it bores her. Why would a city that never sleeps bores her? Because the people around her, they're somehow all talking about the thing that she doesn't want to talk about. Women around her are talking about relationships or which fingernail to paint, and she was not that person. So I would say there's always different individualities in everyone, and everybody has a different personality. And I would ask Lareb's point of view on it because her point of view was on feminism and how anti-feminist she was. So, Lareb, what do you think in this novel? Where do you see her individuality coming?
Yes, so this, if I got your question clearly, that you wanted me to explain her individuality in the novel or the Sylvia Plath.
Yes, her
Okay,
individuality, her
so
individuality in the
basically,
novel.
yeah, so this, yeah, if I compare Sylvia Plath's life with Esther, the character of Esther in the novel, the way she described her individuality, through that fig tree posture, the way she described every single opportunity of her life, the way she's looking at the fig as a husband, children, and happy marriage life. The other fig for her was the opportunity of jobs that she left. Somehow she's having that regret that she could choose that. She could have that thing in any other better way, because it's written in the novel. She herself is saying that I couldn't make it out. Like, she could be better than that. We have this thing in our mind first. We get disabled from our mind. Then when we started believing that we can't do this thing, we are disabled, we are unable to do it. So society is always there to welcome you in that way. Open arm welcome, because society is playing their part. They won't come in your way to guide you and to lead you towards them. And as you mentioned, every individual is different. Okay, so society is not going to play your part. It's you. You know, I know it's easy to say sitting in a room talking about Sylvia Plath. It's way easy. But you know, everybody, every single being, nobody is painless. Nobody is, you know, everyone, their time comes in everyone's life when they face disappointment. Someone has the worst, someone gets the normal one, but everyone gets disappointments, you know. But the way she talks about Catholic religion, that she is somehow finding and searching for relief, you know, and that's the process. When you get disappointed, when you are in pain, you look for this relief thing, you know, and she is there. The way she expresses that I would like to join Catholicism, Catholics, because they even consider killing oneself as a sin. So they might persuade me to help me out of this, you know. And eventually, the way she expressed through the Dr. Nolan, um, the way she comes in her life as a painkiller, I would say. But we are lacking such kind of doctors and such kind of people like Dr. Nolan's character in our society. As Umar said, that we need to speak up about these things. But you know, in our society, if we talk about our disappointments, our failures, our anxieties, our depression, people consider us, ye to pagal hai, and they would send us into asylum, you know. There is this very dark humor. I would talk about her diction as well, you know. Such a big fan of diction. If I'm saying that I consider Sylvia Plath as an extremist, it doesn't mean that I am against, you know. I love her way of writing. There is this part where she talks about nun, that she used to sing Alleluia in the, you know, church, but it sounds like Arizona because she belongs to that part of the state. And the way she expressed, and they said that I might think that she ended up in the asylum because she is considering, you know, the other persons in same way, because she knows that society is there to do just this thing. And if I talk about Gordon's play, what he did, he literally gave shocks, electric shocks, to disappoint to a person who is already depressed. He's giving him shocks. So this is the way
Exactly. You know,
society is
the
going to treat
treatment,
you.
but then the treatment is also different. Soumya, I saw, I was, when you are the person who reads the most faster, you know, in all of us, and you are the one who gets the point of view very clearly and very sparkly. So, taking your point in this, Soumya, how much do you believe that there is displacement? There is a lot of, you know, what should I say, confusion, and the society that she was displaced in, she was somehow, you know, out of it. So what do you have to say about it?
Firstly, Sundus, yes, this particular piece of literature, oh my God, I literally loved it. And when I started reading this thing, I think this is about suicidal thoughts and depression and all. And I was feeling so confused why I'm liking, why I'm liking this so much, why I am connecting to this so much. Like there are phases which I think I'm reading my mind. This is what I feel. This is what I feel in a certain situation. So I think Sylvia Plath gives us, as someone said, a lens to look it through the mind of a depressed person, how they think in the society, how they behave, why they behave around people, what is the reason behind that behavior. Actually, so this, before talking about displacement, I would like to talk about the society. As Larip said, actually in our society we treat like everyone. For example, we three four girls are over here. We all, and Umar, of course, every individual, we all have our own capacity of emotions, our own capacity of taking things. One news can maybe affect it will be, I will be less affected by it, and Lareb or someone or you will be more affected by it. So I think the major problem in our society is we take everyone as one. We are individuals who think, who feel things differently. So this is, I think, the major problem which even face in this society. Okay, when we talk about displacement, she was in New York. New York is called the city which never sleeps. Why? Because there is entertainment, there is excitement going on.
Yes.
But she said New York bores me. Just imagine, she was there in the she was walking in the street of New York and she was not there. She was in that bell jar. When she mentioned whether I'm in Paris or somewhere else, I feel under the bell jar. That bell jar is for her. She believes her life is, she's looking through that bell jar to the society wherever she is. She can't feel those happiness, she can't feel what other people are feeling. So when we talk about alienation and displacement, she even used Sundar's a different name, Ali, for her. So maybe to feel less pain what she is feel, maybe with the other name she can feel less pain what she is in right now. As we say today, people we make fake IDs, people make fake IDs. मुझे क्या लगता है सुन के, जब वो फेक आईडी बनाते हैं, मे बी दे कैन एक्सप्रेस देयर इमोशंस व्हाट दे आर फीलिंग इन दैट थिंग. If we look at from this perspective, she wanted to take a new name, she wanted to go somewhere else where nobody knows her, because she thinks what she is, the pain she is feeling, maybe she will get away with it, and maybe she can express herself to the people when she will go to the other place, because she was unable to communicate. She really wanted to take the help. She wanted to join convent, as Larry mentioned, because in convent they sorry, Catholics, she in Catholic is a awful sin in your life. She said maybe they will take me out of it. And then she wanted to tell everything to Dr. God, and maybe he listened to, but nobody listened. She is the one. She was the person who was entrapped in that bell jar, which is
Definitely.
bell jar is, I think, symbol of our madness.
Sonia, exactly. Taking your point forward and, saying and putting it all together and concluding it all up. The whole idea of ours of building, of talking about the bell jar was to make you guys understand that there are novels everywhere. There are writings everywhere that will help you relate, help you understand the problems that you are facing, and make you become a better decision maker with it. Uh, the whole point of coming with literature reviews from Greenwich University is to help you out as individuals and see that there are so many different perspectives that you can look onto with life and how you can develop yourself as an individual. Thank you so much, Somya, Larib, and Saman. It was a huge, what should I say, audience, and I had so much fun. And it's always fun with people who have a better understanding of literature, and you guys definitely have a better one. How was your experience with our, live sessions? I'll start with Somya. How was it?
Well, Sundu's experience was so good, as we came here before. Thank you so much, Umar, especially that you guys started this with the literature. Because Umar was doing shows before that, and there was no part of literature in it. And I am so happy that you guys started this, and especially Umar for taking a very active part in literature discussions. As I almost watch all of your shows, I'm a big fan. So you guys are doing a great job. Thank you so much for inviting me here, and especially with Sylvia Plath. Talking about Sylvia Plath is an honor. Maybe we can do a 1% justice to what she was and what she wrote.
Thank you so much. And someone, you tell us, how was your experience with, Greenwich live sessions?
Oh, Sundar, it is always great. And as Somya said, that we are not able to do our 1% justice to the whole topic. But I have a message for the whole audience who are watching this and who will watch in the future. That please do read the Bell Jar, because just reading her the simple information about the Sylvia and just her few poems, this information cannot give you insight or behind the whole कहते हैं ना great mind के पीछे this the only few की चीजें आपको नहीं दे सकती. So you people have to read this, because it will give you a complete different perspective to see the world. You cannot feel the same uh, after reading this. You will be a different person. You will be a more sensitive, or we, our society need that sensitive
That's so
for
true.
people around us. We are, as an individual, we need to understand
That's so true.
person around us. So this is a message, and thank you so
Larip,
much, Sylvia.
this is your first time. What would you say? What was your experience like with us in the live sessions?
First of all, thank you so much. You and Umar are doing such a great job altogether. And it's overwhelming for me because having you, Somya, and someone all together, it's kind of like cherry on the top for me. And to have you
Treat.
in the conversation,
It's a
it's
treat.
always a pleasure.
Yes.
The people who sits in front of you, if you are having a different opinion, but when you know that they would agree and they would appreciate and they would understand, even you are having some different perception. So you feel the way comfortable. So and the way Umar has it, Umar perceive it, I
So
literally
true.
appreciate it and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And literally I wanted to do some unpaid advertisement too, not because that you know I literally wanted every woman out there to read Beljar. Somehow you agree or you disagree with Sylvia Plath, but you would relate yourself. Every woman out there can relate themselves, with this text, with the novel.
That's so true. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming. And thank you, Umar, for giving the literature students and the master's faculty and the whole English faculty a chance of coming together and talking about the reviews and everything. We will have more, and now it's over to you.
Of course, yes, and you're most welcome. And I'm actually, I'd like to thank all of you कि आप लोग literature के इतने अच्छे reviews करते हैं, and you bring all your knowledge and all that you're studying up forward. लोगों में भी interest ला रहे हैं, and this is something that's much needed because literature is not just a study; it's much deeper. You go back in history, you read about people, and then you relate it to your life, and आप अपनी life को better करते हैं. आपकी observation बेहतर होती है. आपकी चीज़ों के ऊपर परसेप्शन स्किल्स बेहतर होती हैं एंड देयर इज अ लॉट मोर टू इट एज आई ऑलवेज से कि किसी भी चीज़ को बहुत नैरोली नहीं देखें लुक एट द वाइडर पर्सपेक्टिव एंड लिटरेचर स्टूडेंट्स की जो सबसे अच्छी बात है दे वेरी डीप थिंकर्स दे डीप ऑब्जर्वर्स एंड दे कैन एक्सप्रेस देमसेल्व्स वेरी नाइसली आई थिंक इट्स ऑल ऑफ योर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कि जो चीज़ें आप ऑब्जर्व करते हो सोसाइटी में आपको लगता है कि गलत है राइट अबाउट इट spread awareness about it because that's what you guys are studying for. Make use of it. And in the end, I'd just like to say कि हमने डिप्रेशन के हवाले से बात की so it's not just कि हमने बातें की. You can always reach us out through the Greenwich page. You can reach us out अगर आप student हैं. You can always find me. You can find other Ma'am Taira Khan or anyone else जो इस चीज़ को डील करते हैं. You can just come up to us with complete secrecy. कोई आपका नाम भी रिवील नहीं होगा. Come and talk it out. Tell your problem, share your problem, vent it out. And ये सिर्फ बातें नहीं है, ये इसलिए that we need to make that change. We need to give you
True.
that certain push. कुछ और नहीं चाहिए होता, सिर्फ वो एक push चाहिए होता है इंसान को. And we'll be more than happy to help as Greenwich University faculty to help out our students to give you guys that little push that you need to be back on track. So that's all for today. Thank you, Saman. Thank you, Larip. Thank you, Somya. And thank you, Sundus. And we'll be back tomorrow with another session. And tab tak khayal rakhein apna, keep smiling, stay safe, stay positive, not corona positive, but positive in life. Until next time, Pakistan, Zindabad.